Dog men in Michigan that hunt people in the forests. Demons from Dover or from the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Is it really hard for us to believe that Bigfoot doesn't roam this country? These topics and more, only on Cryptid Conversations.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. I'm your host, Blue. Joining me today, our wonderful group of amateur cryptozoologists. We have the
You're an amateur.
the always adorable and wonderfully storytelling Jasper. We have our running skeptic and sassy Scott. Thorsten.
You call him sassy.
We have our always beautifully vivacious
Annoying
head of research, Michelle.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. Today we're going to discuss the Chupacabra. Is it a mangy coyote or some type of alien creature hitherto unknown on this planet?
Hitherto unknown. Yes.
So, why don't we start off with this? Michelle,
Hi.
our wonderful researcher, the beautiful. I'm
Oh,
so
I had
stunned.
so many
I am
ideas.
so stunned by that beautiful necklace she's wearing today.
Yeah, you like that?
Yes, my ADD is off the charts today.
You know
Michelle,
where they are, right?
Yes. Go ahead, tell her. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to say it out loud because this is YouTube. They're a kind of bird.
Swallow.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway. All
Getting
right.
back on topic. Okay, Michelle, give us the origin of the myth of the Chupacabra.
Well, okay. So first, we got to hop on our Legends Cave G550. Yeah, we upgraded the G5. Now we got the 550. We've got a little bit more room in there.
All
We're going to
right.
head down to the Caribbean, about 1,000 miles southeast of Miami, to the little fun island of Puerto Rico. But before we do that, we're going to head north just a little bit to hit the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle. So we can get in the Wayback Machine and land us smack dab in the middle of the 90s. Okay. All right. So, we're back in the 90s now. So picture this. Blue is now wearing a flannel shirt with black Doc Martens.
How do you know me that well?
Dude, Torsten is in a red, white striped tracksuit a la Ali G. Jasper, zip it. Jasper's wearing a pink tie-dyed shirt with really cute overalls and a butterfly clip.
Even though I wasn't born yet.
Whatever. And
we're not even going to go on that subject.
Look like I just walked off the set of The Craft.
It's okay, Kate. Thank you for coming.
Kate also looks like she walked off The Craft.
Definitely look like you've walked off the set of The Craft.
Yeah. All right.
And change out the Doc Martens for a pair of white Nikes.
No, this is my story. Okay. All right. It is here in Puerto Rico that the legend of the Chupacabra was born. So reports of mysterious livestock deaths go back to the mid-70s, where they were localized in a town called Mocha. They were referred to as the vampire attacks by, the vampire of Mocha, El Vampiro de Mocha. Seemingly, these sightings were sporadic until the 90s. So they were hit and miss, but it was mostly localized to that little town of Mocha. And in the mid-90s, all of a sudden, a couple towns over, livestock just started dying off, 150, 200 at a time, drained of their blood. The farmers were saying it's starting up again, but they were unable to place it back in that Vampire of Mocha story. So they coined a new term to call this little creature, and they called him the Chupacabra, El Chupacabra, which literally translates to goat sucker in Spanish. It did not take long for these stories to evolve, and boy, did they evolve. The sightings are very interesting. The differences in how people describe what they have seen. Reports of the creature began to spread all over Latin America and finally landing smack dab in the middle of my home state of Texas. So let's talk about some of those sightings. I'm not going to talk about the sightings themselves, but I'm going to talk about what do people describe the Chupacabra looking like, because it is very interesting. Some reports, bipedal creature with spikes on its back, leathery green scaly skin with spines and quills going down its back on a cervical ridge, 2 to 4 feet tall, anywhere in between, hops like a kangaroo, doesn't hop like a kangaroo, hairless dog with 3 sharp fangs, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, fur, no fur, wings, no wings, hair, no hair, ears, no ears. So it's really all over the place. So the original, the Vampire of Mocha stories really talked about it being a 2-ish foot tall bipedal creature that was not really bipedal. It ran on all fours, and when it was attacking, it was on back feet only. 3 piercing holes, usually in the animal's chest, and no blood. And early mutilations, but after the original ones, no mutilations. So that gives us the backstory of how we got to here. So now Jasper's got some stories for us.
There's nothing too detailed for you folks this week, unfortunately, but I do have several sightings from 2017 that may or may not have been the Chupacabra. February 2017 in Victoria, Texas, on Highway 185 and Guadalupe Road in Victoria, Texas, a resident reportedly spotted a Chupacabra. Following the tip of the crossroads, Today Viewer, the news station, went to the location and found an animal lying on the side of the road. It had the paws of the dog, but the body of a hyena. In March 2017, in Olancho, Honduras, residents of La Aguajas in Olancho, Honduras, worried after finding a dead bull without eyes or a tongue. According to La Tribuna, residents saw an ugly white animal prowling the pastures, believed to be El Chupacabra. In May 2017, in Choloma, Honduras, but in May 6, 2017, a creature had killed 35 animals in the Monterrey de Choloma, a municipality in Cortez, Honduras.
Hey, Jasper.
What?
Jasper.
Yes.
Slow down.
Okay.
You're going way too fast. Slow down. Relax. Okay. And make sure you're breathing. You just relax.
I do tend to speak on just one breath, don't I?
Yeah. We love you, and we love you. Love your little quirks like that. But just relax. We're all friends here. We're all here for the same purpose of learning about things. So come on, let's rock and roll.
Right, where I left off, residents feared that the animal, which disappeared as if by magic, would eventually hurt humans, especially children. Nilay Davis Martinez saw it one day at 12:45 a.m. after hearing a noise. Struck by fear, he was unable to move and couldn't get a good glimpse at the figure, but all the animals began to drop to the floor, according to La Tribuna. In May 2017, Cordoba, Argentina. For months, people living in the Charbonnier in Cordoba saw animals attacked. In May, a man took a photo of an animal that he described as a big bat, like the size of an eagle, that can attack horses and cows, according to TKM. Specialists of the Servicio Nacional del Sanidad y Calidad. I'm going to struggle with this word because it's so long. Agroalimentaria dismissed Chupacabra claims and instead said it were bats that were transmitting rabies to the other animals. In June 2017, Nana Galito, Ecuador. 59-year-old Casimiro Flores believes the creature he fought off was the Chupacabra. One day he heard a loud noise that sent chills up his spine. When he turned around, the about 5'7" man saw a creature, which looked like a brown dog with pointed ears that reached his waist. Trapped by the animal which dragged him around, Casimiro grabbed a stone and threw it at the creature's forehead. After letting out a cry, it ran away, according to Extra. In July 2017, Riverside, California. In mid-July, when Carrie Shooker's cat raced inside their home, he looked outside and saw the ugliest looking thing staring at him about 80 feet away with teeth jutting out in every direction, rippled skin, and a tail like a rat or a possum. Shooker said it looked nothing like a coyote. It was also at least 2 feet or more, longer than the biggest coyote you've ever seen. Shooker's not the only one who has spotted the creature in the Box Springs Mountain Territory. M.G. Bunt, an early childhood educator, also saw the Chupacabra this year. And in quotes, "I thought the strangest looking animal I'd ever seen." She told the press Enterprise about spotting it near her home. It had the ears of a deer, a long snout, no hair, tail like a rat, long hindquarters. I thought it might be a sick coyote or a sick wolf, but it had too many different characteristics of any of them.
Well, that one sounds a lot like, a New York City sewer rat transplanted to LA. we got some big old rats up here. So, would make sense if somebody caught one and released it into the wild out there.
Yeah. The one that you didn't mention is the one that's in my neck of the woods in East Texas. In 2007, in College Station, a man shot and killed a Chupacabra on his land and put it in the freezer. So you can Google it. Frozen Chupacabra.
Frozen Chupacabra. Well, there's also...
Well, hold on.
Chupacabra on a stick.
On a stick.
On a stick.
So it had longer back legs in the front. They sent it off, and the guy said, hey, there's no scabs on this thing. It doesn't look like a coyote with mange, so, it just doesn't work. But officially debunked. They sent it off to a lab, and the Scientific Statesman reports that the animal was tested. It was a coyote. It was a coyote with sarcoptic mange, which I had to look up.
Sarcoptic mange is different than the other form of mange.
So sarcoptic mange doesn't affect the actual skin. So when you see an animal with mange, they're usually like scabby and scaly. That's where you're getting a lot of the reports. Oh, it's not mange. Sarcoptic mange affects the cells. It's at a cellular level, and it does not make the skin lesions, but it does make hair loss, and it does some other horrible things to the animals and makes them more aggressive.
Okay.
And have a tendency, they do have a tendency to not go after things for food, but to go after things for just because.
Sport.
Yeah.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sarcoptic mange is a mother effer, as opposed to regular mange. I mean, it attacks you at a cellular level, changes your entire genetic structure, or at least the genetic structure of the animal,
Maybe I
making
have
it
mange.
way more susceptible to being violent and just all around just a bad tempered
Yeah.
animal. A lot of these sightings, I swear, it's like, how can you chalk it up to being a chupacabra though? I've never heard of it looking like a bat, but that's a new one to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw some where the people were describing it as with wings or scaly with wings. So there's no consistency to the
Yeah.
sightings. So maybe
No.
we have our own Jersey Devil in Texas.
Or
Maybe.
maybe it was just a baby
New
bat.
cryptid.
Or just a baby bat squatch, maybe, yeah.
Baby bat squatch. Yeah.
I feel like that'd be adorable to babysit.
I don't want to know.
Right? It'd be so cute.
No. This is where all the white women go, I want to pet the puppy.
Yes.
No, you can't pet the puppy.
Yes.
Can I pet
I'd
that
say
devil?
the stories from South America,
Mhm.
I'd take with a pinch of salt. Maybe people are having a little bit too much of
Tequila.
Nose candy.
some nose candy, and seeing shit that they shouldn't be seeing. And California, well,
It's California.
When
Yeah.
we get
California,
closer,
listen, we're not talking about California.
in a few minutes, I have a theories section that I'll talk about a couple of different things that I have with you guys, but a lot of these things are in the top 3 theories.
I won't forget, Kate. Don't worry, I'll get my bat squatch. Kate showed me that local liquor outlet carries the bat squatch IPA, so I'm gonna have to give that a shot.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted there. Go ahead.
No, I had, like, as I'm researching, and like I remember growing up in Texas, and it wasn't a big deal until the 90s, but you don't hear about it until you hear about it, then you don't hear anything but.
Yeah. Now there's another story out of Texas, out of your wonderful home state, where a doctor, she was a doctor, and I'm pretty sure she was a doctor. She shot one on her property.
Yes,
and had it
I remember
and had
this
it
one.
stuffed.
Yeah.
And it just looks like a coyote. It looks like a coyote without fur. I can't remember the name of the doctor.
Stuffed chupacabra in Texas. Phyllis Canyon in Cuero, Texas.
Cuero, Texas.
Yeah. And if you Google stuffed chupacabra in Texas, that's
just a coyote.
It's a coyote. That's 100% a coyote.
But like, you would expect, if she's saying this is the chupacabra that she shot, right, that it would have some telltale sign of being able to suck the blood out of things. Right? Because that's what a lot of what the tales say, is that it drains the victims of their blood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what chupacabra means. It means goat sucker.
Yeah, it doesn't specify on the type of sucking.
Side note.
Yeah, but how does a canine does not have the ability to?
All right, so I dug in a little bit on this one, and before taking it to the taxidermist, DNA specimens were taken.
It's a coyote.
It is a Mexican wolf on the paternal side and a standard coyote on the maternal side. So it's
So-
so
So it's a
wolves-
coy wolf.
It's a coy wolf. So, and her response was, still looks like what it is. I believe what I believe.
And that's all we can really say anyway when it comes down to it. Like, you either believe these things exist or you don't believe these things exist. I mean, personally, to me, it's a Hispanic vampire.
I think you're going to enjoy one of the theories that I put the most weight behind. When I
Okay.
get there. You're going to like
All
this
right.
one.
So go ahead, Michelle. Let's move on.
Do you want to talk about pop culture first?
Yeah, let's do the
Because-
pop culture. Let's hit pop culture.
There's some good ones in here. So, movie 2014, Indigenous. Chupacabra was the main antagonist.
Indigenous?
Indigenous, 2014.
Okay.
Okay. Next one is 2012 episode of South Park. Chupacabra.
Okay, we're not going there.
It was a
I don't wanna
Jewish
get canceled.
chupacabra that kills children on Easter. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
The X-Files had a chupacabra-based episode in 1997 called El Mundo Gira.
Okay.
Chupacabra was the title of the mid-season finale of season 4 of Grimm. Teen Titans DC comic book had a bat-like metahuman called Chupacabra. His alter ego name was Diego Perez.
Mm-hmm.
1999 episode of Futurama features a monster called El Chupanibre. Was Nibbler, by the way, just so we're
Yeah.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
The Jackie Chan Adventures episode called The Curse of the El Chupacabra. Jackie Chan's friend El Toro gets scratched and infected
Wait a
by a
minute.
chupacabra.
I have El Chupanibre right here.
You do? Yeah, you do. You do have Chupanibre. Causing Jackie Chan's friend to transform into a chupacabra every night like a werewolf. Season 3 of Workaholics is called Chupacabrage, where they find a deceased corpse of a neighbor's dog and they think it's Chupacabra. It just goes on and on. It's more of a funny,
it's a
comic
joke.
relief.
It's a comic relief, but I mean, to the people that experience it, it's not a joke. They're legit afraid of these things.
And my favorite of all, which I have seen this, is a 2013 made-for-TV movie called Chupacabra versus the Alamo. I don't suggest it. I don't suggest to watch it. It's terrible, but I watched it.
Yeah.
No.
Also, the last thing I will say on this piece, because this is funny to me, the Ukrainian news program TSN, when they run out of news to broadcast and they have nothing else, their go-to is to broadcast fake news stories about the chupacabra.
Well, what else are you gonna do in the Ukraine?
Yeah.
Besides touch bombs.
So those are some really fun things, and and you hit the nail on the head there. Like the majority of these things were non-serious. They don't take the chupacabra serious as a cryptid. Like when you see movies about Bigfoot or you see movies about like the Jersey Devil, it's always like some of it is tongue in cheek, like Harry and the Hendersons, that kind of thing. But for the most part, they're
Harry and the
taken
Hendersons
seriously.
is what put Bigfoot on, in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a brilliant movie.
That's a classic.
Well, I was trying to say the Zapruder film, but it's not Kennedy. It's what's the dude's name?
I don't know.
the dude's name that filmed the
Patterson
latest one?
Gimlin.
Patterson Gimlin film. Yeah. So
Yeah, but like even then they were like, okay, yeah, wait a minute, because like you could look at
yeah.
that film
Mhm.
and you see the creature, you see it moving. You could say, oh no, that's a person in a gorilla suit. Well, that person would have had to be 7 and 8 feet tall,
Or at least on stilts.
And
right?
yeah, they would have had to have like the sinewy underscore the muscular pieces made too much sense. There wasn't a loose fitting
I am the
costume.
missing link.
You are the
Thank
missing
you.
link. But yeah, so like there's no. I hate to say it this way, but nobody takes the Chupacabra
No,
seriously.
no, nobody
It,
takes the Chupacabra
bad.
Cabra seriously until they have a goat with no blood in it. I'm telling you, it's
Okay, I mean, that's our cryptid. I'm from Texas. That's our cryptid.
yeah.
So I have to
Well,
interject a little.
you guys also got the Texas Sasquatch.
We got a little bit of something, but it's. eh. But anyway, I love the Chupacabra. I think he's adorable. I want a pet. I want to pet it, and I want to love it, and I want to bring it home.
Mm. Now, after we decided to do this whole thing about the Chupacabra for this week, I realized we missed a major opportunity for this weekend.
What did we? It's Easter.
It's Easter weekend. We should have
Mhm.
done the jackalope.
We should have done Zombie Jesus.
Don't even no, we're not going into philosophical debates. No. We're not going to theological. No. We're not going there.
But Dad, come on! I just want to talk about Zombie Jesus. Anyway, yeah, I digress. But yeah, so I want to talk about the first sighting or the first theory that I have because I think this is going to cause
I agree, Kate.
a decent amount of conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so most of the sightings, the original sightings, the ones that were in Puerto Rico and over into South America, they coincided with droughts and extremely dry seasons. So the main theory is that environmental conditions could have provided some sort of simple explanation that what's killing the livestock, what is standard wild predators that whose traditional prey has been displaced, and they are starving and they're forced to hunt in a different way to sustain their existence. But livestock is not something that they've traditionally hunted, so the draining of the blood, the 3 puncture wounds, there's enough to say that maybe they didn't drain the blood on purpose. Maybe they chomped into a jugular and drained the blood accidentally. And because it was a drought, the blood immediately evaporated into the ground. So I mean that's the big one. Like I put a lot of thought into that one and it made sense.
It does and it doesn't.
Okay, thoughts?
You're talking about areas that actually get rainfall.
Yes.
It's not going to evaporate that fast.
But in
And
a
blood does
massive
not
drought,
blood does not evaporate quickly. Anybody who's ever fought in a desert climate knows for a fact that will sit there and it will just congeal. It won't evaporate.
No. The heat will congeal the plasma in the blood.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for it to disappear.
And it stains the ground that color, but it becomes like chunky, if that's the right word I can use.
chunky dry blood. Awesome. Yeah, I'm in.
but it won't go into it won't penetrate
Mm-hmm.
and dissolve. I mean,
Not an entire body's worth.
not an entire body's worth.
A little bit will, but it'll congeal to look like blubber.
Yeah, like flubber. There you go.
That's probably the best thing. That it looks like flubber.
Yeah. Like if you ever played with slime when you were a kid.
Play with slime now.
Well, you play with slime now because you're basically a grown child. But
True.
basically take that consistency and just put it in sand. And like Dizzy just said in the comment section, you could just poke it with a stick. And it's just there. It's not going to dissolve. Especially like Dorson just said, not an entire body's worth. It's just
okay.
not.
I mean,
yeah. it's an interesting theory,
right? I mean, obviously, there's no evidence because,
but there's no basis in fact.
We can't prove the Chupacabra, so we can't prove evidence of things of why. So,
Yeah,
but it was
also
a really decent theory.
It also depends because we're talking like desert climate, like Middle East, very very hot. South America, it's more
tropical.
It's a lot of jungle.
Yeah,
right.
It's a tropical climate, and
tropical.
anybody. I mean, you could even see it in movies. Here we go. For lack of a better reference, The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
After they set the baby T-Rex's leg, the woman had blood on her jacket from the baby T-Rex, and it wouldn't go away. It was just there, and it kept wiping off on branches and stuff as she was walking.
Well, that's movie magic. Movie
No,
blood
it's
is
not.
different than real blood.
It's not movie magic. It's actual science.
Your science. Come here. Oh, I found the Chupacabra. I found him.
There you go. Oh, that's definitely a Chupacabra.
Come here, Rocket.
But then the other thing you've also got very high mountain ranges where the blood's just going to freeze outside of the body.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. I do think it's interesting though because you can't correlate the sightings to droughts or dry seasons. Is it anything more than conjecture? Possibly, but it was an interesting idea.
But even during a dry season, you're still going to have some congealing of blood on the surface. It's not going to all dissipate.
Yeah,
and especially since this thing usually attacks at night.
Right, it's going to be cooler.
It's going to be cooler. It's going to be,
yes.
The ground temperature isn't as warm as it should be. Anybody who's ever laid on the ground at night will tell you it's freaking. You get cold fast.
Yes. Theory number 2 is obviously coyote with mange.
Mm-hmm.
Popular theory. Parasites, some sort of thing that causes skin discoloration, that causes varied types of skin discoloration, various types of hair loss, and based on the magnitude of the differences of what these things look like in the sightings, that the different types of mange in different areas could be the reason why there is such a dichotomy in the reports of what's seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's one theory that we haven't talked about, and I want to bring it up.
It's a real monster. That's on the list. That's number 3.
Aliens.
Yeah, but I put a lot of, if the Chupacabra is a thing, I think that option 2 behind what's behind option 2's door, the coyote with multiple different types of mange. And when you do have those crossbreedings between a coyote and a wolf, you're going to get a different
very different temperament.
Different temperament, different structure. Like the legs of a coyote are different than the legs of a wolf. And when you crossbreed those two things, you're going to get different looks.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's the
Well,
one I'm going to get behind.
and
It's like breeding the cane corso with a chihuahua.
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
one angry little
It's
dog.
not going to look like a chihuahua. It's not going to look like a cane corso. It's going to be its own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We up here in New Jersey, we unfortunately have seen some coy wolves
Hmm.
here in New Jersey. They've been migrating south from New York State, and I'll tell you, they're nasty. They're not afraid. Like everything that makes a coyote like afraid of people, these
Is the
things don't have.
opposite. Yeah. Yeah.
They're bigger than coyotes. They're nasty. They have no qualms about going head to head with a human being.
Absolutely.
They will fight you, and they don't care. And the worst thing is you take how wolves are big pack hunters and how coyotes coordinate by howling back and forth to let each other know
Yeah.
where they're at. You take those two aspects of a predator, put them together, you've got a new topper, a new contender for top of the food chain in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So it's these things are just nasty, and I could see them being called chupacabra if they have mange, if they're
Mhm.
susceptible to having mange. I mean, but then again, what animal isn't susceptible to having mange?
Can humans get mange?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My third of the 4 theories is it's a chupacabra.
Okay.
And that's the theory. Like, okay, fine, it exists.
Mhm.
And the fourth and final theory, if I can get my computer to go back up, because I wrote it down. Hey, play along, play nice.
That's what happens when you trust an apple.
But what's wrong with you? Everything in my house is apple.
I know. That's why I said you can't trust a vegetable.
It's a fruit.
It's fruit.
Whatever.
Mm. By the way, I also got a pretty cool sticker for the back of my car. I'll send you a picture. Natural predators is the final theory. This came from a debunking website, so I'm just going to read what they wrote and
Yes.
leave it at that. Some researchers believe that other predators, such as snakes or birds, could be responsible for the large amount of livestock deaths, though the precise details on how these attacks may be misinterpreted. The details of these attacks may have been misinterpreted or exaggerated by the viewers of said attacks. So
I'm
I
this.
just can't.
I
It
can't get
was a
behind it.
top theory, so I have it on my list
Mhm.
as this, but I don't think if someone saw a snake or a bird running, through their property chewing on a lamb's leg or whatever, they would go, "Oh yeah, that's a chupacabra."
It could be that the snake was the main factor, but they saw another creature, and so they assumed that creature was the chupacabra.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
but I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot
I'm
some holes in
trying
this
to
theory.
agree with you. There's a big difference between something that's bipedal and a snake.
Yeah. I mean, for my money, I'm really, really partial to the coyote with mange theory.
All of the documented, quote unquote, documented cases
Mm-hmm.
of chupacabra attacking livestock and attacking
Plural
chickens and
of
whatnot.
chupacabra.
none of them showed any crushing injuries that could be related to a snake attack
Correct.
on an animal. Not to mention, no offense, even a boa constrictor is going to look at a cow and be like, yeah, no, I don't want to fuck with that.
And there's some chupacabras loose in my house.
Yes, you have many of them.
Yes.
But it's a theory that bugs me, to this day, just like the Gigantopithecus theory. It's one of those theories that I look at and I go, how stupid are you to come up with that? Of another animal that is not known for sucking out the blood of another creature.
I have things to say. I'm gonna drink my coffee. Plural of chupacabra, I thought was gonna be like chupacabra or something. No, it's just chupacabras.
Yeah, just chupacabras.
I really wanted it to be chupacabra.
Okay. And you forgot another important theory. There is the theory that this is all a psychosis of the mind, that these people are seeing a chupacabra attack their animals. But
You mean like mass
psychosis?
Yeah.
Which government's responsible for that bullshit?
That would be Puerto Rican government.
U.S.
Puerto Rico's one of us.
Exactly.
USA.
Thanks, Torsten.
They believe it's a mass psychosis. There's no such thing as chupacabra.
Yeah, but
it comes down to your own
trying to get a mass psychosis. Trying to get mass psychosis in all those different areas. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. According to Ars Technica, Celebrity Ann Coulter is also the chupacabra.
That I'll believe.
Yeah.
She looks like a bloodsucker.
Yeah.
She looks like she sucked on something.
To respond to one of the comments down here in the comment section, America, fuck yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
No, this is a theory that's just, I mean, we're never gonna truly know.
Oh no.
What these people are seeing, what they have actually seen, unless we're actually out there doing it, unless we're actually out there and we see it for ourselves.
True. And you know how I like to look things up when we're talking, right? So I just found another little cute story. Central American rainforests have a belief in something that's very chupacabra-like that's called the mosquito man.
Ah, yes. I came across that in my research a little bit this week.
Mosquito man sucks the blood from animals through its long nose like a big mosquito.
Yeah.
Some say the mosquito man and chupacabra are the same species of cryptid.
Possible, but we'll never know.
Yeah. So.
They all eat the same weird mushrooms. I agree there, Kate.
Because mushrooms are the devil. I hate mushrooms.
I love mushrooms.
Mushrooms and peas have no business being on this earth.
Pepperoni and mushrooms.
But snow peas are so good.
I don't like peas.
Pepperoni and mushroom. Oh, yes, thank you.
I don't eat mushrooms. I don't eat peas. I'm an adult. I did all the no thank you bites as a child. I do not have to do it now.
Anyway, I have an idea for next week's episode.
Ooh.
And I would like to know you guys, if you guys are interested in playing along with this interesting little bit of possible cryptids and or extraterrestrial activity.
Is the Legends Cave Cryptid Conversations branching out?
I think we're gonna branch out tomorrow for next week's episode.
Okay.
We're
So,
gonna
full
branch out
disclosure,
to hang on.
Okay.
We're gonna
all
branch
right.
out
What do you?
aliens.
Oh, okay. All right. History Channel, dude. I can't think of your name.
Yeah, no, the guy's wild. Anyway,
Yeah.
I want to know about alien sightings in each of our areas.
Oh, we got some good ones.
Well,
Oh, God, you do?
I was made aware of one that happened here, not too far away from me, in the late 1960s.
Oh my gosh, did you guys hear about this one? There was a bunch of alien sightings that the government hid from us, but then they had this like group of people who were like set up as like people to protect them, and they had this whole building, and then they had all these like alien tool. Oh wait, that was a movie.
Phoenix, the ships were confirmed to exist. Aliens themselves are not confirmed.
I will not have time to research because I leave for travel tomorrow, and I'm not back until Friday.
I get that. So you will have to go either last or second to last on Saturday
Yeah,
to give you
I'll
time
try to.
during the show to do your research.
Yeah, I'll find something. But Virginia, we have a decent amount of alien stuff, especially closer to DC.
Well, that's like, I only found out about an incident in the 1960s that my grandmother was the dispatcher on duty.
Duty. You said duty.
Yeah, when this happened. And she was very instrumental in the coordination of
I'm a child.
multiple law enforcement agencies. But yeah. And I'm going to be working on trying to get some photographic evidence. Because evidently there's photos of what happened.
Interesting. Virginia Beach, my zone, has been reported as a hotspot for UAP phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kate, I understand that you're not a fan of aliens.
Nothing's impossible. It's only improbable.
Yeah, I know.
If we're
The
gonna
only ones
branch
you
out, I
enjoy
got
are
some good ideas. I got some more
the movie
ideas if we're gonna
Aliens.
branch out.
I'm just saying. This kind of came about from a conversation I was having this morning, and I kind of want to touch on this subject. I mean, worst comes to worst, we can hold off on the aliens for one more week, for another week, give everybody time to really like prep for alien chat. But up to you guys. I'll throw it out to our wonderful audience. What would you guys like for us to talk about next week?
Dizzy says, touch it.
Touch what?
Just it.
No. Put it away.
Ghosts.
We could do ghost sightings. I have multiple in my town already.
I live just up the road from the most haunted town in Europe, if not the world.
I grew up with ghosts.
I agree. Let's hold up. We're gonna hold off to let Michelle do some more research on the topic of aliens. But what do you guys want us to talk about next week? paranormal stories.
I
Maybe make it a special because I
I
feel
like
like
the paranormal
it'd be
as a
longer one.
whole versus just one piece of it.
So paranormal experiences, is that what we're going to be talking about?
Maybe we
Mothman.
do.
We got
Yeah,
Mothman here.
everybody
I mean,
loves
he
Mothman.
is the centerpiece to our.
He is our guy.
He's our mascot. So
We should some Mothman plushies.
We
believe
should
me, I would
talk.
love to get
We should.
Mothman plushies
No, no,
and sell
no.
them as.
We get a GI Joe and we make it blue, and then we put the GI Joe in a Mothman outfit, like a little tiny blue furry.
Kate, are you talking about the Yeti?
Snowy,
I'll be right back.
Bigfoot's cousin from the cold place. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we
By
got
the way,
multiple options
apparently
here.
my niece has a Barbie doll that has a you could dress it up like a teddy bear. Apparently Barbies are furries now.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon. There's Squishmallow Mothman. Pretty awesome. If anything, I'd buy a whole bunch of them just to have them and be like, "You get a Mothman. You get a Mothman. You get a Mothman."
I do that with gift cards at work.
The Abominable Snowman, aka the Yeti. I know what you're talking about.
The Abominable Snowman, wasn't that the snowman from the Christmas movies? Wait, Burl Ives? No.
Yeah, the Burl Eyes.
That wasn't the Abominable Snowman. That was
Yeah, no, that was he
the
was
Snowman.
he was the Abominable Snowman, and then he got they gave him a real name at the end of it. It was Yukon Cornelius who gave him a new
Okay.
name.
The Abominable Snowman is also known as the
Bumble.
Yeti, the
Yeah.
legendary creature of the Himalayas. Or Himalayas. Himalayas?
Himalayas.
I like saying Himalayas for some
Yes,
reason.
the Abominable Snowman and the Yeti are definitely different creatures from
Let's do the
Bigfoot.
Abominable Snowman. I'm in.
You want to do that?
I'll make time to do this one. I'll make time.
Okay.
Cause he's cute.
All right.
Love that
So
guy.
next week
Aw,
we'll do the Abominable Snowman.
Abominable Snowman.
Giant cat-like creature or a giant Bigfoot-like creature. You decide.
He's cute. He's got a little like, and when he's eating a leg of a human, I guess, a little blood drip down the front in his little white outfit.
Well, I mean, there's similarities and differences between the Abominable Snowman creatures and Bigfoot. Some say the
Yeah.
Yeti is a form of Bigfoot. Some say that it's a completely different creature.
And yeah, we do need to bring Bumble into this.
No, we can't bring Bumble into this.
He's so cute.
No, we're not bringing Bumble into this.
Oh,
Maybe for pop
Bumbles.
cultural reference.
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of Goosebumps books about it.
Mm-hmm.
Dizzy says it's abominable, not adorable, Michelle.
No, it's adorable. He's so cute.
Oh my gosh, he is cute. That is
He's
adorable.
so cute, right?
Okay.
No.
All right, so we're going to do the Abominable Snowman next week, and then the following week we're going to be doing alien encounters in our areas. So that'll be interesting. So we got the next two shows lined up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
If you like what you're seeing, please like, share, subscribe. Helps
Or
us a
even
lot.
if you don't like what you're seeing,
Even if you don't like what you're seeing, just hit the
give us a
subscribe button
thumbs up for a read.
and
Just
bust
for
our balls.
funsies. Just for funsies.
You know, come in, have a chat. This is for everybody. Also, if you can, go check out our merch link in the bio of our page. Every you know, a little bit helps us keep the lights on here in the cave, except for Torsten's half, because that's always shrouded in darkness.
He likes to hide in the dark nooks and crannies.
Yes,
He is a cryptid.
Torsten is the cryptid.
He's
Torsten
my
is a
cryptid.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm just me.
All right. Well, with that being said, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you guys next weekend. This week, hopefully, I'll be able to put up some other content that I have stored up and hopefully almost ready to go. Torsten, would you like to say goodbye, sir?
Ladies, peoples, have a wonderful Easter weekend, and see your asses next week.
Very good, very good. Jasper.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ding dong that bell for notifications when we're live.
Michelle.
I was trying to think of something smart assy to say, but I got sidetracked by looking at the pictures of the abominable snowman because he's so cute. So bye guys. See you next week.
And from me, I'm going to say this. If it's weird, creepy, or cryptid, we'll see you next week. If you can't be good, be bad. If you're going to be bad, at least be good at it. We'll catch you next show. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And look forward to seeing you. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.